الله شيخ.
إن شاء الله. Go ahead.
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Dear brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillah, with the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are resuming the durus that we have started a few weeks back. And briefly, in the past 5 durus, we have gone through a detailed study of the first pillar of Iman, which is the belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And inshallah, from today, we will move towards the discussion of the second pillar, which is the belief in angels. So brothers, as usual, inshallah, you have seen that we have moved our durus, that's from 8:40 to 9 o'clock now. And if some of the brothers, as we have recommended earlier in the last week, the last durus, if brothers would like to suggest a different date and time, which makes them easier to join the classes, the durus online, please suggest so on the group. You can text me directly from the group, and inshallah we will take it further, your recommendations, and we'll get back to you on that. So for today now, inshallah, we will begin with taking the questions from the previous durus, if you have any, and then we will move to the second topic of the second pillar of Iman, which is the belief in angels. So brothers, type your questions. Feel free to type your questions on the chat box, and we'll take it further. Jazakumullah khair.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. صلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا ورزقا طيبا وعملا متقبلا. اللهم ربنا زدنا علما. Dear brothers, السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. حياكم الله in the 6th dars on the book of the fundamentals of Iman by Shaykh ibn Othaimeen rahimahullah, which is explaining the great hadith of Jibreel alayhi salam and the story we mentioned before, if you remember, that Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu narrated that while they were sitting with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in his masjid, there was a man came into the masjid who is a stranger, but still he is not looking like a traveler. So they were amazed about him. So he came and sat in front of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and he asked him the 3 or 4 questions. The first one about Islam, the second one about Iman, the third one about Ihsan, and the fourth one about the hour or the science of the hour. And Shaykh ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah concentrated on explaining the answer of Iman, because that's actually a very important topic that needs to be followed up, clear out for all Muslims, especially nowadays when people started to be misguided in the meanings of Iman and in the pillars of Iman. There is a lot of misguided opinions spread among Muslims, unfortunately. So that's why we needed actually to re-study this book in details in this dars. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our deeds. So let's go and review what we have studied quickly in the last few dars. We mentioned first of all that a human being usually starts after being misguided by his parents. He will be a kafir, then he will move to revert to Islam. Islam is actually surrendering to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the outer action. But the case of Iman, which is the person will go forward and higher for, is the inner action, the inner belief. So surrendering is Islam. Having faith is the case of Iman or inside. Then he will be moving after that. If his Iman is so strong, he will reach the level of Ihsan. And these 3 circles actually explained by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam to his Sahaba in one of his ahadith, that Iman is the wider circle, that because people of Iman are a lot more than the people of Iman. Then the middle circle, which is Iman, is actually people of Iman are not as much as Muslims, but actually there are very good number, but when it comes to ihsan, not much of people can go and reach this level of Deen, which is the case of ihsan, which is the perfectness on Deen. That's actually done by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and by the great Sahaba like Abu Bakr, Uthman, Umar, Ali, Uthman, and the other Sahaba who reach this level of or the rank of Deen, which is ihsan. As we said, that Shaykh Othaimeen concentrated in the case of Iman because this is a very important topic, needs to be explained and discussed. Before I go on, actually, let's just go for Brother Futuh. In here, he is saying, Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, hayyakum Allah. Dear brothers, Brother Sulaiman is also, Jazallah Khair, is joining us tonight. Hayyakallah, Brother Sulaiman. We will have some questions in here, but let's see, first of all.
Shall I recite the question, Sheikh?
Yes, brother.
Yes. So Brother Fatush has asked the question, what is the ruling on the fact that some people recite certain names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in certain number of times at a particular period of time in order to get their wishes done?
Okay. The answer of this is easy. If we remember that every ibadah we are doing must have two conditions. Only for Allah, only the way for Rasulullah. That's very easy and simple and short for any ibadah. So if we want to do any ibadah, now reciting the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, remembering them, memorizing them, practicing them, this is ibadah. Okay? Is it for Allah alone? Yes. We say that the person who's doing this is sincere, he's mukhlis, he's doing this for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. But the question comes in here, is this the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam do it this way? Did he say or did by himself to recite certain names by certain number or certain time? Did he do that? We have to have an evidence. If there's an evidence, okay, fine, we'll do that. We'll follow because we are required to follow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. So we are supposed, we must follow Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam because he is the one who is proclaiming the Deen. He is the one who is conveying the Deen from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We cannot add to the Deen. We cannot delete from the Deen. اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. That was in Hajjat al-Wada'. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descended this ayah from Surah Al-Ma'idah to Rasulullah to tell the people that your Deen now is completed. So do not add, do not delete. Now, this case of reciting these names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is evidence to know these names, remember them, memorizing them, practicing them in life. Yes, there is a hadith. As the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, إِنَّ اللَّهِ 99 اسْمًا مَنْ أَحْصَاهَا دَخَلَ الْجَنَّةِ. Man ahsaha here means that he will remember them all, he will understand them all, and he will also practice or act upon them. So if we know one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ar-Rahman, then we will ask the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we know that one of his names subhanahu wa ta'ala, Al-Kareem, we'll ask his generous subhanahu wa ta'ala, we'll ask him from his generous to give us. We know that he's a Razzaq, we'll ask him alone for rizq. Okay? But just to put these names a number of times to say, there's no evidence. As far as I know, there's no evidence from Quran or Sunnah that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam or Sahaba did that. And the best ones who know the Deen is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his Sahaba. Then we will not go and do from our own, because anyone else, even of these major Imams, rahimahumullah, Abu Hanifa, Shafi'i, Malik, Ahmad bin Hanbal, rahimahumullah, they always just stick to the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they never done any ibadah unless it is with evidence. And if you read what they say, you will understand what I mean. In fact, they say if I say something and the hadith is against it, any hadith is against it, throw my words to the wall. Throw them. And Malik, rahimahullah, he said, everyone you can take and take from his words and return back, except Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the only one we have to take all of what he said. Why? Because Allah told us in his noble book, وَمَا يَنطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيُ يُوحَىٰ. Yani Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam does not bring from his own. He is only conveying the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the case of the Deen. Barakallah. Continuing now to the case of the ranks of the Deen, then the answer of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to Jibreel was that he told him the 6 pillars of Iman: to believe in Allah, to believe in the angels, to believe in the books, to believe in the messengers, to believe in the last day, and to believe in the qadr or destiny. Okay, believing in here, of course, you have to remember that English language or any other language may not be capable to give the same meaning. That's why they say it is forbidden to translate Quran itself to any other language, because always translations will change some of the meanings. So the word in English, belief, is talking about what's in heart only, what's in heart of person, but doesn't talk about saying, does not talk about anything else except what said by the heart, or what believed in the heart. But as we will see in here now, the case of Iman or faith, the correct definition of it, as we mentioned in the last few weeks, we said that it's creeds, statements, and actions. Three things have to be there to count something as an Iman. Otherwise, we cannot say that's Iman or this person is a mu'min just because he believes by the heart only. Okay, so these 3 things actually must be there. Like, what is the evidence? And what evidence did we rely to say that these things must be there in order to say that this is Iman? Okay, clear evidence. In Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, he sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Al-Imanu bid'un wa sittuna shu'bah. Sahih Bukhari, bid'un wa sab'una shu'bah. Sahih Muslim, a'laha, the highest of it, qawlu la ilaha illallah. Qawl here is statement. That's number 2, if you see there. Wa adnaha, the least of it, okay, imatat al-adha an al-tariq, to move dirt from the way of Muslims. That's actions. Wal haya'u shu'batu min al-iman. Al-haya means to feel shy inside from bad things. That's by heart. So now we have the statement, we have the action, and we have the creed by this hadith. And he sallallahu only gave us 3 examples from a lot of things. That he says 73 shu'bah, 63 shu'bah. That means more than just 3. There are a lot of them, but these are 3 examples, one of each part or element of Iman. Creed, there's one. Statement, there's one. And action, there's one. So all of these now must be there. Read some of the Islamic history, some groups who gone astray in the Islamic history, you'll find that they have a problem in this. Like Al-Khawarij, they have a problem. Al-Murji'ah, they have a problem. Al-Mu'tazila, Al-Asha'ira, and so on. All of them, they had a problem with the case of definition of Iman. That's why they gone astray in some cases. But if you go the way of Sahaba, and Sahaba were the best to understand Quran and Sunnah, to understand the Deen. So when we have anything which is not clear to us, we'll go to see how he sallallahu alaihi wasallam did that, how his Sahaba did that. Then we are in the safe side. We're on the correct path. But if we start to go following our ulama, our groups, our madhab, and so on, we may fall into mistakes also, because these imams and whoever comes after them, they are human beings, that they make mistakes. Yes, they did, and they are actually rewarded for their ijtihad. They're trying to understand the truth. They are not sinful, but actually the people who follow them, although they know they made a mistake in here, these are the people who are sinful. So again, to say that whenever you want to do any ibadah, anything in this deen, make sure that you have an evidence. If you ask an alim about something, ask him to show you the evidence, because you're not going to obey the alim actually, but you are going to obey Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that's the deen. That's the deen. Now, these 3 things, 3 elements, creed, statements, and actions, actually increase by good deeds. Who said so? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said so. يزداد الذين آمنوا إيمانا. يزداد, there are more. Yes, when a person does some good deeds, his iman will go up. More good deeds, his iman will go up. And subhanallah, as Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in the hadith, he said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that when the good deed will say, my sister, my sister. Al-hasana taqul ukhti, ukhti. She's calling another hasana. another good deed. So the more good deeds comes, the more Iman comes up. And Sahaba used to meet each other and say, let us sit down and have some more Iman. Let's have our Iman up, upgrade our Iman. Because sitting and discussing the Deen, reciting Quran, attending the lectures, attending Salah, these things will make the person go up and up in his Iman. So Iman increases. Why we say that? Because some misguided groups like Al-Khawarij and Mu'tazila, they said it does not increase. It's one package. Comes or goes. Comes or goes. No, that's not true. Because when we look to the evidence of Quran and Sunnah, when we look to the evidence of Rasulullah and the way of Rasulullah and the way of Sahaba, we understand that it's clear to them that Iman goes up and also goes down. It decreases by bad deeds. When a person does some bad deeds, his Iman goes down. The more bad deeds he's doing, the more his Iman goes down. If he continues doing a lot of good bad deeds, then he is in the danger of losing all of his Iman. Subhanallah, yes. Just imagine now you have a pot and you are pouring some water into it, but the pot have a lot of holes in the bottom. And the holes are leaking more than you're putting. One way or another, the pot will be empty, even if you are pouring some water into it. But if the pot is closed totally from inside, and you put some water or juice or whatever, it will be filled one day. Okay, so that's the case of Iman. If the heart is really saved from bad deeds, and that's of course almost impossible because every human being is mistaken. As he said, كل ابن آدم خطاء وخير الخطائين التوابون. Every human being is actually commit mistakes. But subhanallah, to commit a mistake sometimes will bring you back again better than that. Sometimes Shaitan, when he drags a Muslim to do bad deed, okay, then this Muslim come back and he repents and he make more good deeds to make takfir for these sins. Shaitan will come aside and start to cry. And he say, I wish I did not push him for these bad deeds. Okay, so that's why Tawbah is very thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked about a lot, and it's a lot beloved for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah loves it a lot because Shaitan will be angry for that. Okay, so in this case now, back to the point to say that definition of Iman or faith is creeds, statements, and actions that increase with good deeds and decrease by bad deeds. If we understand it clearly in here, then all of the other things we're going to discuss about Iman will be so easy for us, will be saved from being gone astray as some misguided groups in the Islamic history. طيب. Tonight, inshallah, we are moving to the second pillar of Iman, which is the angels. Okay, as Shaykh Imtiaz said, that we have already finished discussing in details believing in Allah, which is the first pillar of Iman. Tonight we're talking about the angels. Maybe Jinn will talk about, but I think it will be taking a long time, so we'll leave it for next week, inshallah, to complete. طيب. Actually, angels, when you talk about them, they are a great sign to their creator, subhanahu wa ta'ala. How? Like, let me tell you this. Now, in their numbers, how many are angels? Unbelievable. We don't know, but we know there are a great number, something we cannot count. In the Sahih Hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that he saw al-Bayt al-Ma'mur. Bayt al-Ma'mur actually is another masjid, but it's on top of Mecca and the heavens. في السماء السابعة. And he said sallallahu alaihi wasallam, al-Bayt al-Ma'mur, 70,000 angel go to that bayt every day and leave it and never come back. So daily 70,000 angels are coming to that house, al-Bayt al-Ma'mur. When they leave it, they never come back. Just imagine now, thousands of years, maybe millions of years now, that al-Bayt al-Ma'mur was created, and angels are still coming every day. How many are they? Allahu Akbar. Uncountable for us, definitely. For Allah, He knows. Another case is that we have been told by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and even by Quran, that every human is having 8 angels specialized for him. 8? Yes, 8. 2 to write good deeds and bad deeds, and 2 to protect him from front and back. These are 4. But this 4 actually is only for the day, another 4 for the night. So these are 8. Now, multiply 8 angels for every human being with the number of human beings now. 8 billion, mashallah. More than 60 billion angel, only their job is to follow or stick to the human beings. That's only now. What about before? What about after? So uncountable. So this number, this huge number of angels actually guide us to the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who created all of these numbers of angels. That's one side. The other side is that their sizes. The size of these angels sometimes is unbelievable. Take an example as Jibrael. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam saw Jibrael twice in his original shape. No, but he came to him in different shapes, like a shape of a Sahabi, a shape of a human being, a shape of a traveler, like this case over here in our hadith. In here, he came as a traveler, as Bedouin, and so on. But Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam showed him in his shape, original shape, in twice, in Ghar Hira and in the Mi'raj. Okay, how did he describe him? Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. How did he describe Jibreel alayhi salam? He said he had 600 wings. Jibreel alayhi salam had 600 wings, and he was covering the whole horizon in front of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. La ilaha illallah. That's one angel with this huge creation. And to show you how is that, we know that among the hadith that Jibreel alayhi salam was ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to destroy the 4 towns of Qawm Lut. So with one wing out of 600, he carried all of these 4 towns, raised them up until they reached the skies. The angels in the skies heard their dog barkings, and then he flipped them down with one wing out of 600. Imagine now. Also the throne carriers, also Jahannam treasurers, also how many descriptions he ﷺ gave us about them. Something you are, if you read them, you know how great is the one who created them. That's why, subhanAllah, all the creation is a guide to the creator. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Why are they called Al-Alameen? Because they are alam, yani a sign to the creator. If you take it from the other side around, go to see these tiny germs or viruses, like AIDS virus. It cannot be seen until it's magnified by an electronic telescope or microscope, 300,000 times. Then they can see it. Still, this one agent or this one soldier of Allah is destroying the people who is doing Qawm Lut job. Na'udhu billah. Between this and the angels, how many creations you can see and you can read about their jobs and their, unbelievable. So now these angels actually, as we said, are signs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from 2 sides, the number and the sizes. Okay, right. Let's define now the case of the angels. What are they? To believe in the angels is to have certain dogma that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created angels from light. See, the 3 major creations now in here, alive creations: angels from light, humans from clay, jinn from fire. That's what Allah mentioned in his noble book, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam also mentioned in his ahadith. Okay, so we believe that, yes. Okay, then, and he subhanahu wa ta'ala assigned to these angels some deeds to perform. They have jobs. One of their jobs is to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continuously. يسبحون الله الليل والنهار لا يفترون. They don't get tired. They don't get tired at all. They're continuously making tasbih and dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also, he assigned them, like, as we'll see, Jibreel is assigned to do some job, to carry the wahi from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to his messengers, human beings messengers, and so on. So these angels actually are assigned in so many things to do. That's what we believe as when we read Quran and Sunnah about these angels. How to believe? Somebody will ask, I want to be a believer of the angels because Allah mentioned that in His noble book. What am I supposed to believe in? 4 things or 4 subjects. The first thing is that to believe in their existence. Somebody will say, okay, I don't see them, I don't taste them, I don't smell them, I don't hear them, so they are not there. That's wrong. It's enough for us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in His book that there are angels and they are described like this and this. That's enough for us. Okay, so why to go to something that unseen for us and reject it? Those people who reject anything they cannot sense by their own 5 senses, these people are really wrong, because we can't tell them that do you have a mind to think? He will say yes. Okay, show it to us. We cannot see it, we cannot touch it, we cannot smell it. Khalas, then it's not there. That's impossible. There are a lot of phrases that we cannot see. There are a lot of sounds we cannot hear. In this universe, there is and the sea, subhanallah, there's a lot of things we cannot see, we cannot hear, we cannot touch, we cannot smell, and we cannot taste. So we believe in the existence of the angels. Why? Because Allah mentioned that, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that. That's enough for us. That's number 1. Also, the second thing to believe is to believe in their known names, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, mentioned some of these names: Jibreel, or Mikael, or Israfil, Malik, the treasure of Jahannam, Radwan of Jannah, and so on. So if the name is there by Quran or by correct or authentic Sunnah, we believe in them by their names. We believe there is an angel called Jibreel alayhi salam, and his job is to carry the wahi or from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the human being messenger. So he's the angel messenger who is carrying the message to the human messenger. So we know their names, yes. So these names, but majority of them, in fact, all of them almost, we don't know their names. How are we going to believe in them? We believe in them as a whole. We believe that there are angels. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not tell us their names, so we believe there are angels who are writing our good deeds, who are doing this, who are doing that, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in His noble book, even though we don't know their names. Like, we have to believe in their known qualifications or descriptions or attributes. When we said that Jibreel is created with 600 wings, we have to believe in that. Why? Because it's said by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, who does not bring things from his own. وَمَا يَنطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described the angels that they have wings, as in Surah Fatir, we believe in that also. So whatever descriptions, whatever qualifications we have been told about, we believe in them in this case. Last point is to believe in their known deeds. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that Jibreel is the carrier of the wahi. He told us that Rasulullah told us that Israfil is the one who to blow in the trumpet and before the judgment day, and Malik is the treasurer of Jahannam, and so on. Malakul Maut, although we don't know his name, but we know that his job is to collect the souls of human beings who have already finished from this dunya to the barzakh life and so on. So if we know the deed, we believe in their deeds. With these 4 aspects or subjects, if we believe in them, then we are counted as believers of the angels. Okay? Of course, somebody will ask, what's the benefit for me to believe in the angels? As they say it in the West, usually they say, what is in it for me? Yani, human beings sometimes are selfish. Although there are benefits for us, that we get the deep faith on the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by knowing the numbers and the descriptions of these angels. This will give us a strong feeling, strong faith inside that, oh subhanallah, Allah created all of these, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the greatest, because He created all of these angels with these huge creations, with this huge number of angels. The one who created them is, as we said before, when you see a new mobile, which is so smartphone, what do we say about the one who created or made this phone? You will say, oh, mashallah, the guy who made this phone actually is a very smart guy. Did you see him? No. Do you know him? No. How did you decide that this guy is so smart? Because you saw his creation. Like we saw this creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this universe. We know that we are told about the creation of the angels. Does not that really bring a strong Iman inside. Our faith will go up, up, up because of that. Allah created all of these angels. Yes, that's one benefit for us. Another benefit will lead us to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He cares for us by assigning some angels to write our good deeds and bad deeds. If we are required to write our good deeds or bad deeds, how are we going to live? We are doing good deed or a bad deed almost every time. So how are we going to write that down? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala assigned these to take care of us. Also, He assigned some angels to protect us. بين أيديهم ومن خلفهم. So subhanallah. So we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that, and we feel happy about it. Also, we will love these angels. Why? Because they are pious. They never make any mistakes. They never disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are always pious. They are always doing the ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we love such kind of people. We love them. Yes, they deserve to be loved. So in this case now, clearly angels will guide us to have stronger Iman. And I really urge myself and all brothers to do their best to learn more and more about the case of the angels, read about them more, listen to the lectures about them, because this will actually guide us to more Iman. When you know that these angels are always with you, they never leave you except if you are going to the bathroom. They are shy, they leave you in that case. But never say that you are alone. Never. Because you have angels with you. And you have also jinn, which will come to us inshallah later on, to say that we have, each one of us have one jinn who is whispering to him to do bad things. That's the case of Qareen. But here to say, the angels are actually always with us, so we have to be ashamed of ourselves to do the wrong things while the angels are looking at us. Hope that inshallah will be enough for tonight. If you have any questions, please go on. I'll inshallah try to answer it as much as I can.
Jazakallah khair, Shaykh. May Allah accept.
Allahumma ameen. Allahumma ameen.
So, brothers, if you have any questions, please feel free to type it in the chat box. We will take the question, inshallah.
Okay, regarding what Shaykh Abu Hassan said regarding the timing, as you can see, the time of Salat al-Isha is going further into the night. Maybe some brothers, especially in the eastern countries like India or Philippines and so on, and Australia, they are facing some problems with that. So there is a suggestion, if you think it's okay, especially for brothers in Africa, because they are ahead of us in time. I mean after us in time. We can do that in Saturday, same day, but that will be, say, 5 o'clock in the evening in Riyadh. It means 2 o'clock in the GMT or Zulu time. If you think this is suitable, please let us know. Tell Shaykh Abu Hassan about that, so we can fix that from next week as an example, to do the dars instead of 9 o'clock in the evening, which is so late for the brothers in the eastern areas. We can do it at 5 o'clock, which is Al-Asr in Riyadh. Saturday in Riyadh, there is no work. Actually, I don't know about the brothers in Africa. If they have work, then it will be a problem. But I think Saturday, Sunday in most countries is the weekends. If you have no difficulties of that, we can move the dars to be at 5 o'clock in Riyadh, which will be 2 o'clock in the African countries, and it will be, of course, about 8 o'clock in India and Eastern countries also later a little bit. Just go ahead, please let Shaykh Abu Hassan know about that. Send in the group, or send me, or send Abu Hassan in personal or private messages. No problem. We'll be happy to hear from you anytime. If you have any questions, anytime. My WhatsApp is always open. My Telegram is always open. Just send me the question. I'll do my best to answer it as soon as possible, because my job actually is to support you, help you out. My job is to convey the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as much as you can, as I can. Although I don't have much of knowledge actually, but I'll do my best to answer. And I am not giving you fatwa, by the way. When you ask me, I'll go and search in the Arabic great ulama like Shaykh bin Baz, Shaykh bin Uthaimeen, and so on, websites, and then I'll bring it and translate it for you. I'm not doing fatwa, by the way, not at all. I'm just guiding you or bringing you, helping you to find the answer for the questions from the fatwa of major ulama, from the committee of fatwa in Saudi Arabia, and so on. And I'll be so happy to do that, because I'm going to be rewarded. you are going to be rewarded, and Shaykh, this mashayikh will be also rewarded. Brother,
we have a question from, Sheikh, we have a question from Mawaji. Jazakallah khair. Thank you, Ustad. My question: when do these angels leave human beings?
As mentioned in the hadith, that if there is something nasty is done by the human being, like getting naked or going to the bathroom, so they don't look, they leave him in here. But if you're talking about when they are leaving them totally, that's probably after they die. That's after death. But as long as this human being is alive, the angels will be with him, continuously, of course, for the half of the day, because there's 2 angels come, 2 angels go. As we said, there are 8 angels. 4 of them is to protect, 4 of them to write. So all of these 4 will be changed. There is shifting, day shift and night shift, as we can say that. So these angels who were in day shift will go when the other night shift angels will come to follow and do the writing and protecting. So that's. But if you're talking about the final leaving, that will be when the human being dies. Then khalas, no need for these angels to be with this guy. He's already dead. Barakallah feek.
Sheikh, we have another question from Brother Futo.
Yes.
Why is that some people are affected by jinns when having 2 angels protecting them?
Subhanallah, when a person is fighting his enemy, he's protecting himself and protecting his colleagues on the war. But when he starts to cheat on himself or on his brothers or his colleagues, then the angels will not protect him. We actually, human beings, we cheat ourselves. We give the shayateen the chance to guide us wrongly. So the angels here are not going to push the shaitan away, no. Because this is actually, in this dunya, we are under the test. We are in a test. This test means that we have complete or say partial will. This will be actually for good deeds or bad deeds. There are something, and that's why you say a human being does not have free will. As we'll see, inshallah, when we talk about the 6th pillar of Iman, which is qadar. A human being does not have free will. That's only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Complete will is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But our will is limited. Limited to what? To that these things we are going to be rewarded or punished for. So we are allowed, if we want to do good things, we are allowed to do it. If we want to do bad things, we are also allowed to do it. The angels will not stop us. And also the angels will not stop shaitan from whispering, because this is his job. But the protection here is wider than just from bad deeds and good deeds. It's a lot wider, actually, and so many things, actually. But as you can see that the Rasulullah and Sahaba did a lot. They were protected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by the angels, of course, in so many ways that even the qareen or the shaitan of Rasulullah was actually unable to do any bad things to Rasulullah, as we will see, inshallah, when we talk about jinn later on, inshallah. Okay.
So, Brother Mawaji is thanking us. Jazakumullah khair, brother.
Jazakallah khair. We thank you for your patience and for eagerness for learning the Deen. And believe me, myself, Shaykh Imtiaz, all of us are benefiting from this dars and so many other dars, because whenever we do this and we receive your questions, will open us some things maybe we forgot. We will go and check for these things. I have did this so many times during my teaching on Jaliyat and Rabba, more than 25 years, alhamdulillah. So many of your brothers who attended our classes brought some questions that I did not have the answer. I didn't know the answer. So I asked him to wait for next week. Then I go and I search. I found the answer. So I benefit. I learned something new I did not know. Then I answered him also. So actually these durus, as he sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us in the hadith, that whoever gather for ilm and for Quran, the angels will become closer to them. They will be also protected, and they will have sakina, calmness. And when they finish and leave, angels, or they will be told, قُومُوا مَغْفُورًا لَكُمْ. Now you are forgiven. Allahu Akbar. Just sitting down and discussing the Deen for some time after leaving, or when we leave, the angels will be, or we are going to be told, قوموا مغفور لكم, go, you are already forgiven. Allahu Akbar. Some angels said, Ya Allah, one of these people who are sitting in this halaqa or in this dars did not come for it. He came for something else. What did he say? Subhanahu wa ta'ala. He say, also for him, forgive him also. Because these people he's sitting with are the people who are going, anyone who sits with them will not be a loser. Allahu Akbar. Even his intention is not for the dars. His intention not for Quran's recitation here. But he just sat down with these people. Because he's sitting with these good people, he is also forgiven. Allahu Akbar. So how great of the case of durus and for the Deen, how important it is for us all, me, Shaykh Abu Hassan, and you also, that we are, inshallah, gaining the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, gaining the knowledge of the Deen, gaining, inshallah, more Iman in this dars, because our Iman will go up, inshallah, because of discussing the Deen. طيب. جزاك الله خير Shaykh Abu Hassan for your support and this. Okay, so let's say we're going to wait for your suggestions regarding the dars. Do you think it is suitable for you brothers in Africa, 5 o'clock, which is 2 o'clock GMT or Zulu time? Same thing for brothers in India or Eastern countries like Philippines and Australia. Let us know, please, during this week, so we'll fix the next dars. If you think it is okay, we'll fix it in 5 o'clock in the afternoon in Riyadh, as we mentioned. Barakallah fikum, jazakumullah khair. If there's no other questions, we can close the session, inshallah, now.
Yes, Shaykh, jazakallah khair. There were no more questions, Shaykh.
طيب بارك الله فيكم brothers, jazakumullah khair for listening, and اللهم صل وسلم على محمد وعلى اله وصحبه اجمعين وصلى الله وسلم على الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
السلام ورحمة الله.